What's up, Dragon Ball fam? It's your boy Eddie St. Hilaire, Team Flex, PPG, Team Captain, coming at you today with my top 8 Trunks deck profile. I know you guys were asking me for it, so here it is. Let me tell you guys a story before I actually get into the deck profile, because you guys should know this before you see it, because it's going to be a lot of interesting, let's say, ratios. So, fun story. The week before the event, I'm like, hey, Machado, bro, sorry for putting on blast. I still love you. Like, Machado, bro, bring me X cards so I can play X deck, because no one's playing it. And I honestly think it's one of the best decks in the game right now. And I want to be the first person who tops with it, hopefully wins with it, right? He's like, yeah, bro, I got you, man. So I drive from Maryland, because I moved to Maryland, and I'm in Maryland now. Drive 2 hours from Maryland to the event. I get there early, I think like at 10 o'clock, so I could go ahead and sleep those bad boys up real quick, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I pulled up, got into the event, I looked at him, we locked eyes. It was like the funniest, most theatrical moment ever, because we locked eyes, and I just saw a look of shock and surprise and fear in his eyes. He goes, "No, Eddie, bro." And I instantly knew it. I'm like, he didn't read my cards. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, my bad. He forgot it, but it was all cool. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the best shop owners, if not the best shop owner in the entire country. So he let me go through everything, all his cards that he was buying, the bulk, everything like that, and make a deck. So guess what deck I made? I made a Trunks deck. So when you see the ratios, it's like, I want to say about 60 to 65% of my actual build, and all the other cards with filler. So I just want to get that disclaimer out the way before you guys see these ratios. But I'm gonna explain the deck itself, because the premise was still there. So let's get into it really quick. So obviously I use the Trunks leader. Trunks is super insane. Yeah, man, like there's no explaining the leader. If you don't know what a leader does by now, it's not gonna go well for you to go to a competitive event. So without further ado, let's start with the backside, because I know you guys supposed to know what the leader is, but the backside. We all know the best part about it, in my opinion. Yes, you get to draw 2 cards a turn. It's the activate battle. So I'm gonna do my best to do this like how I do it. I have a exclusive series on Patreon, the PPG Patreon, right? It's called the Good and the Bad series. I'm gonna do my best to bring that over here on this profile, to just give you guys a glimpse of what I do on the PPG Patreon. So be sure to subscribe to that. So in the Good and the Bad series, right, I go over the leader, so Trunks. Front, backside, I'd go over the leader. But like I said, you guys should know that by now. So the activate battle, in my opinion, is the best part about the leader, because it's a free double strike. What I tend to do as I am using my activate battle is I like to bring my opponents down from 5 to 3. So with that being said, how do you bring them down to 5 to 3? By using, in my opinion, the best secret rare for this deck is going to be the Piccolo and Son Gohan New Found Light. This essentially makes your leader a 55k double strike. Now, I wouldn't use this to bring it down from 5 to 3, but if they, let's say, if they Eddie negate me with the token blocker, or if they negate or block it so they go to 4, my next shot is going to be from 4 to 2. I want to simplify the game state as much as possible. I even like, Eddie, why did you waste it so early? Why not wait till they're at 2 life, right? I'm going to show you why. Essentially, once again, if they do block or negate that 5 to 3 swing, just swing, keep it regular. With whatever battle card you have in play, bring it out to 4. It's all good, because once again, from 4 to 2, you're going to connect with this Piccolo Secret Rare. It's going to make it infinite. Now, and speaking of infinite, I play which I think should be the default unison for this deck. It's Mira. Mira has deflect and it's infinite. Why not play a card that says, when I am played, you cannot interact with me, and the only thing you can interact with is when I swing, and you can say, do you have a counter? If you do not have a counter, it's going through. And even if you do have a counter for Piccolo or Mira, I go to my next card, the Swift Retaliation Cooler. Essentially, 1, 2, 3, 4. These attacks, when they connect, they connect. You could 5-0 someone. Like, the way I play this deck, you guys would have to see it. Like, I'd probably do my best to get some gameplay video on to show you the examples. That's what I also do at the Patreon for PPG. But the connection between these cards are just absolutely insane. Because once again, if you are trying to shoot them from 4 to 2, once again, this is gonna be a 25 base double strike because of your activate battle, plus a 3K combo power, which is gonna connect. It's just one of them gonna connect. I ain't gonna lie to you. After that, you're gonna have a 40K body, which you're gonna swing. If they're gonna take that one too. Unless they negate it or block it, these attacks are just guaranteed attacks. Now, if these two can come out of, you're definitely gonna come out of mirror. Now you're gonna be like, Eddie, I understand that, but still, why do you waste your double strike so early? This is why, because the next two cards we play are going to be two hidden power E Supreme Kai. Now you guys are probably like, yo, this guy is snapped. I see like where this deck is going, but let me explain it to you. Hidden power E Supreme Kai is multifunctional, right? Obviously, yes, you can take them down by twos from 5 to 3, 3 to 1, from 6 to 4, 4 to 2, 2 to 0. But realistically speaking, this Kai not only serves in the purpose of trying to KO your opponent, but it also serves in a role to destroy Unisons. I do not want to deal with Unisons. If you're playing Gamma and you're playing Android, if you're playing Gamma, you're playing Hit instead of Android 17. You're gonna have 3 markers on it. I'm gonna one shot it. Once you pass your turn, I'm gonna one shot. I'm gonna sugar my leader, which is 15K. When with a one drop on board, I'm going to drop a double strike, and I'm gonna combo off whatever other one drop that I have in my hand or on board in order to KO it with double strike. That's just what I'm gonna do to Unison. Same thing with GT. If GT goes first and I go second, whatever or GT goes second and I go first, I'm gonna establish my board. Obviously, both my one drops. If they have, let's say, 3 or less markers, and I have a Kai in hand, I'm one-shotting their Unison and then calling that a game. So, like I said, this Kai serves as a multifunctional card. It's not just to bring your opponent down to 0. It also is a Unison killer as well. So, these next two cards are pretty much the package. So, the Slug package. Slug is good against every single current meta deck that's not Gamma. And that's not, let me see. Yeah, it's pretty much Gamma. Gamma is the only deck that I will take it out for, and obviously things like rogue decks such as Red Blue, because Red Blue just negative and they don't really draw that much. Like the launch deck, it's not the card, it's the leader itself that's drawing the cards that I face. So against a mirror match, it's just the mirror match killer. You play it, you protect it, and it's over. You play this against any like road deck. I played round 1 launch, round 2. I played against Golden Frieza. It was over. I sat on the Slug. He couldn't out it. It was the funniest thing ever. I played against GT. I one-shotted his Unisons because of the hidden power E Supreme Kai. I sat on Slug because I knew once I brought him down to once he awakened, I knew he was gonna have his Unison again. But the thing about that Unison, it draws a card. So you can plus your marker, do all that good stuff, but you're not drawing a card. All the cards in GT replace itself. The mirror match, you cannot play your guy. You can't evolve your guys with Slug on board because it's a cost to draw a card. Like I said, every deck, I'm trying to think what good deck doesn't draw, and it just doesn't hit me. Mine is Gamma. Gamma's probably the only one that could get away with Slug on board, this is why I take him out going against Gamma. So the next 4 cards, once again, you're gonna be like, yo, this guy snapped. So this guy is in my deck. It's not main board. I mean, it's not main boarded at 4. It is main boarded to an extent, but I had to fill my deck in because I was still missing some cards because I didn't bring my Trunks cards with me. Like I had to literally go through the binder and stuff and grab cards and plug and play essentially in order to play in a tournament, right? But Trunks is really, really good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Trunks is good in a sense where if you're going against Cooler, it's just gonna be the freest thing for you. Because once they start pitching cards, they're not gonna expect it game 1 and then best of 3. You're gonna pitch it, you're gonna pick it up. I played AOD Android 13s. He thought they were free for him, but they're actually free for me. He uses leader to play the Slug that discards a card. So I pitched my Gohan. Then he responded with Android 13 to negate that Gohan for coming to play so I could pitch another card, and I pitched another Gohan. Same thing when I was going against Eric, when he topoed me, I pushed your topo and I discarded two Gohans, and they drawing cards. Really, really good, really, really solid. Gamma, if they try to go ahead and come off with the Android 16 to make me discard a card, once again, I'll discard and I'll draw a card. Really, really solid card, in my opinion, and I had it in my main board for this event. Now, this card, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people running that too, and that says too much. A lot of people run at 2 and say, hey, I just hate this card. I'm at 52. I just cut it and go to 50. This card is busted, guys. This card is low-key the best card in the deck, in my opinion. Reason being is because of this next card that I play. It's going to be the 3 super combos. Now you guys are probably like, Eddie, you're tripping. What are you doing, dude? But the thing that people do not realize about this Vegeta, a lot of good players, before they try to go in on Trunks, will not leave you at 5. Because they understand at 5, Frieza's army of reinforcements is live. So what they'll try to do is try to tend to clear your board. If you're going to play your Vegetas, they'll try to clear your Vegetas. The only time they'll really go after your leader is if you play your 19Ks and you don't have any other targets for them to attack. So obviously they're going to attack your leader and bring you down. But if you're actually trying to clear board because they're establishing board on you, it's going to be problematic because they're going to be able to defend while fighting you, while you're not able to really do the same because your super combos won't be alive. But my super combos are alive because all I need is Sparking 5 in my drop. Now with the Bulma, I use it turn 0, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Like I use it every single time I see it. And it's going to fill up my drop. Really, really solid card. The next card I play, I only had one because someone, I forgot his name. I should have got his name. I was going around the event asking to see who has this card. Hint, I do play this at more than one. Only one person had it. Thankfully, he gave it to me. He threw it to me. Really, really good card. The reason why I love this card, and I'll tell you right now, it's way more than one in my actual Trunks build, is because it allows me to give this deck another route of just aggression. A lot of players play their 19K Trunks and are scared to attack with it because they know it'll be vulnerable. But for me, what I'll do is I'll evolve, I draw my 2 cards, and now I'm still swinging after I swing my leader with the Trunks itself. Reason being is because the first swing, whether it's to my leader, whether it's to Trunks itself, unless it's an effect such as Vegeta, which pops something in rest mode, I'm going to combo this bad boy up to get out of their attack. Not only get out of their attack, but also restand my Trunks, which is completely insane. Because like I said, I do play this at more than one in my actual build. But when you're able to stack these bad boys up, it's completely absurd. Because Bulma does search for both your super combos as well as your Vegeta TP itself. Now, you guys are starting to see how I start to get 5 cards in my drop really, really quick. There's a lot of times, too, I also won above 5 life because my super combos were live. They thought, okay, cool, I'm in a bad situation, but as long as I'm focusing on Eddie's board versus his life, he won't be able to push through and win because his super combos won't be live until they saw me use Bulma and grab the super combo. Like, well, I guess that's just out the window. Next 4 cards I play, I never had a problem seeing these guys. The only issue I had one time was oh, this is so bad. I used my Trunks. I mean, I played a Vegeta, we get a Trunks. Me just speed rushing through. I think this is like my last round. I'm like, okay, cool. It's the winning round, right? So I go play another Trunks to grab a Vegeta, and guess what? My other 3 Vegetas were in my life. It was the most sad thing ever that I got punished for not checking your deck. When you use cards like this, you run through your deck and check it. Don't just like stall and check it, but like count to see how many cards. The only thing that was on my mind, because I had both my double strikes in my hand, I was just focused on where my secret rare was. And I knew my secret rare and mirror were both in life. So I told myself, okay, cool. The fact that they're in life, I'm not going to really willy-nilly attack with my guys because I need to see those cards. And I completely overlooked checking to see how many Vegetas were left. So when you're using this effect, please make sure that you also check to see how many 1-drops you have of each. The next 8 cards actually are both Evol targets. This is a staple, I think, in anyone's deck. Yeah, for these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, in my opinion, you should be running all of them at 4. You just have to see them. It's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And in my opinion, in this deck specifically, this super combo should be the super combo for the deck. I'm telling you guys right now, good players will not leave you at 4 willy-nilly so you could just crack them back. Like, a good crackback would be, hey, swing, and my last attack puts you to 5, and I have no other attacks past that, which negates the fact that you cannot freeze his armor reinforcement. Because if I'm trying to swing through, and I know I'm not able to win or bring it down to, let's say, 1 life, I'm not going to willy-nilly swing, and you're going to freeze the army reinforcements. I'm going to pass my turn. Just putting it at 4, like, that makes absolutely no sense. So The next card I play is going to be Bergamo. This guy is really, really good on rogue decks, in my opinion. Decks that are not Gamma and decks that are not Trunks. Rogue decks. Like AOD, I played this against, it was a blowout. GT, this really helped me because GT, was playing against him. That's the one I took out his Unison. I'm like, okay, cool. The only thing he can do to me right now is really Vegeta's secret ram me. So he tried, I see it coming too. I had to open. He tried to bait me where, okay, cool, he had 5 energy. I was stalling him. I was not letting him get to 4 life until I had everything set up with my slug and everything else. And I finally had the slug on board and everything. So he baited me by playing something out, a 1-drop to just rest it, because he's like, okay, cool, now I'm going to bring my Vegeta secret rare. He knew at this time and point, he couldn't really chance, hey, if Eddie has the final flash or whatever it is that he can't attack. So he didn't make to find out if I did or not. Because once he played that 1-drop, I tapped it with my Trunks and I automatically used Bergamo to rest his 2 energy to make sure I was going to seal the deal on the next turn. So Bergamo is good against rogue decks like that. Fun fact, I do not play Poutine. Good players will not fall into Poutine. If you're going against Gamma, they're going to play 17. In the mirror match, they're going to swing with their leader. They're going to play a 1-drop barrier guy. Decks that fall victim to Poutine are decks that you probably won't see in Top Cut. So me, I just cut my losses and I cut Poutine out the way. So people call me crazy. I'm just calling it being proactive instead of reactive. Why play a card that people are going to play around when that one card could be the extra hidden power E Supreme Kai? Something like that. You see what I'm saying? Next card I play is going to be for Cell. I didn't want to lose. It's not pre-side, right? I didn't want to auto lose game 1. So, fun story for Cell. With Cell, I guess I get to it at the end because you guys have to see another extra card I play. But this is when it tap 5, you tap 2, and then you stun their 7-drop Cell. Next one is going to be my other secret, which is going to be the power of the Super Saiyan, followed by 4 black Kamehamehas. This card is completely absurd. Defensively, it's insane because defensively, I honestly don't care. I'll tell you right now, I'm done with my battle cards, and you're not going to see repost. The reason why you're not going to see repost is because I don't care about repost when I want you to attack to be able to rest everything else. That's why I say Black Kamehameha, in my opinion, should be at least a 3 of it. I personally run at 4. It's completely absurd. It's a plus 10k combo that draws your card and rests 2 guys. Like it's mind baffling to me how good it is, but people only play that too. And offensively, when you're going for game as well, it's a 10k combo power that you can even put on your Unison. So it's even better than Final Flash, in my opinion. Which, speaking of which, I don't even play Final Flash because I play Release from Evil. Release from Evil, my decision on it versus Final Flash was there's games and there's times where it's going to be crucial for you to have the Release from Evil over Final Flash. And those games and times are things such as Gamma, right? Let's say Gamma just went in, turn 4. What I usually do against Gamma, I let them kill my Trunks. Reason being because I want them to tap 4 against me, knowing that I cannot rest it. So they'll play their Cell, whatever it is. I go down to 1 and I'll defend to make sure I'm good, right? So before I do that, and before you do this, guys, make sure you have the cooler in your hand because if they baby hatch you, it's not going to be fun. So you going on to 1, doing all this good stuff, they're going to swing with their leader. You release from Evil their leader, they're not going to restand their energy. Once they don't restand their energy, once they pass their turn, it's game over. But once again, the reason why I say it's game over is because you have to put yourself in a position where it's game over. I play this deck really, really aggressively. Just, yeah, people call it a control deck, but the way I play it, I aggressively lock you down. Because it gets to a point where you're like, wow, the super combos are on live. My super combos, technically, their opponent's super combos were live too, but they just couldn't draw cards because I had Slug on the play. Their first battle card was going to be rested because I had Trunks in play. It was really, really super impressive. And now, getting back to my earlier comment with Cell, connects with my last card, Tyrannical Blow. I think Tyrannical Blow 100% in Trunks decks should be a mandatory staple at least at 2. Reason being, even against the Cell matchup, which I was talking about earlier, right? So 2, 6, and 7 destroy Cell. If they play their 1-drop and they do not plus their Unison, you literally stun their 1-drop. They're not going to draw / search, and their Unison is not going to plus a marker. If they just play the Cell itself, You can stun the cell, and that's fine. Even if they did plus a Unison, it's fine. Because realistically speaking, when I do play against Cell, I willy-nilly let them -7 themselves. I don't feel like dealing with the Unison. I will never spin the Unison just so they could -7 it. Look at my life, take a life. Because once you let me pick my cards, because don't forget, the Unison itself says your opponent discards 3. So I will discard 3 Gohans, play 3 Gohans, and draw 3 cards. I don't care. Literally, you're helping me out, and now I don't have to worry about a free dormant, because once you do -7, you're not going to pay 2 more to bring out the Unison. That's just how I play that matchup. Death Bash, like I said, once if it does get to 5, it's not going to get to 5. But if it somehow it does get to 5, you're going to tap 5. You're not going to have your Unison, because most likely that you've been used that, because I haven't attacked it all game. And that -7 came and went, because you're like, wow, it's okay, cool. Let me take a sneak peek at his life and make him burn his cards. You tap 5, I'm negating your cell. I'm just going to kill you on a crackback. It's going to be really, really nasty. The mirror match, like I said, the slugs kill you. The slugs take everything out. The gamma matchup, you have to be really, really, really cognizant of how you play that gamma matchup. Gamma, you cannot try to slug them. You really have to focus on release from evil and tyrannical blowing them at the right time. Reason being, a well-timed tyrannical blow is when you have at least, I want to say 3 to 4 attacks, it's going to be at least 25k or more for each attack. Something like that is really powerful, because when you do TiVo them, and let's say they have a Majin Buu on board or whatever their unison is, as long as it's not the 17, because if you swing even if it's negated, 17, 18 is gonna go off. But let's say they have a Majin Buu on board, if they Android 14 you'll negate the Android 14 as well as the Buu unison itself, which is really powerful. Say they lost 2 cards. Now the fact that you're now doing the T-blow because you have at least the 4 to 5 attacks, it's going to be nasty. They don't play draw super combos. And even if they did play draw super combos, the magical number for that is 25, because now they're going to have to give you a super combo plus 1 card. Even if they have the realm, they're going to have to give you a realm plus 1 card. You see what I'm saying? That's how you start to take out matchups. Everything rogue, any other deck that's not, let's say, Gamma, Slug just answers it. Like, I can't imagine myself playing Trunks without slugging a main board. Even though if Gamma were to take over the format, I still would have it in, because the way Bandai has it is pre-side best of 1. And I would love to play in a pre-side best of 1 event where I just naturally am in top cut, because top cut is best of 3, and I just have the slug in a main board for a mirror match or for any other match that's not Gamma. Because once again, slug is kind of weak against Gamma. I'm trying to think. My first round was against the Red Blue launch. He won game 1. I was winning game 2. I had mirror down. I didn't swing it, and then the time was called. I'm like, wow, great, okay, cool. He got the dub. Round 2, I played Golden Frieza. Golden Frieza was free. The reason why it was free is not because my opponent was bad or anything. He didn't misplay. He couldn't play around Slug. Everything was locked. My round 3 opponent, I believe, was Eon. Yeah, Eon. It was a mirror match. So blue yellow is absolutely fantastic, because when he negates my attacks, like I said in my other videos, you can count how many attacks I have left. When I negate his attacks, I have no idea how many other attacks he has left, because one beam could transfer into 1 more attack, 2 more attacks, 3 more attacks, all depend on what he has, the Basil, the Trunks unison, whatever he wants to do, right? So it's on him. So that one he destroyed. That was honestly my hardest match of the day itself, because I don't have my sideboard main like right now, because I didn't have it for the tournament itself. The sideboard that I used at the event was jank, but against launch, I naturally have a sideboard for against launch, because it's not necessarily for launch. It's not necessarily for Bulma. The reason why I had these cards in my sideboard, but I just didn't have them for an event. But in my main deck, is going to be the Majuha units. It's going to be the memories, right? It's the skill drain unison. It's Goku, a 3-drop. It just negates everything that's 5 or less, which is it's just broken, because, like I said, this is combined with judge knowledge. Tokens do not have a cost, right? So if you have your Frieza's army reinforcements with that unison in play, everything that's 5 or less is negated. So if you freeze an army, negate, play a blocker, you can now still block and protect that unison, because that blocker is not negated because it's not 5 or less. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't have cost. So it's a really, really solid thing. I will list the rest of my sideboard and go in a really fully turn by turn of how to do each matchup in the PPG Patreon. It's hard for me to do it now because, like I said, this deck was like about 65 to 60% of my actual deck. I just had to plug and play with pieces that I had because like the build it's close, but it's not like disable pieces are there, but the ratios and there's certain cards which I just didn't have access to, which I will have access to if I knew like this is the deck I was gonna play. So like if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it in the comment section below. Other than that, I appreciate you guys for joining. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys at Otakon.